So what is 10 Things Your Child Should Know? 10 Things Your Child Should Know is essentially a book that walks through certain skills your child might need to know in reading, writing, and math when it comes to a given grade. So these are skills you might want to make sure your child learns that may be useful to them in the future for future grades and for future success in general. So for example, here you'll see an example here from the first grade that we have a first grade series, and this is reading and writing skills. And so it gives you, the book will allow you to have a certain set of skills and questions you can ask yourself to make sure your child is gaining certain knowledge throughout a particular given grade year. For example, this is third grade. So you may want to, this is first grade here. So you may want to know, does my child understand and know how to read consonant blends like DR and words like shut or chip or flat. These are things your child will need to learn how to read kind of early, whether it's in first grade or second grade or somewhere there around there. You're going to want to make sure your child has these certain skills. So this book, 10 Things Your Child Should Know, lays out some of these skills you might want to look for and ask for as you're thinking through whether or not your child can demonstrate these skills. And so after it lays out the skills, and there's an explanation that goes in front of that, but after it lays out the skills, then what we'll do, we'll give you a certain set of activities. So you get activities for reading and writing. So there's also a section on math. This happens to be the section on reading and writing. So you'll get activities that correspond with those skills or other skills you may want to make sure your child is learning in that given grade. So for example, here we have, things you can teach your child about a book and how a book is laid out. How do you expose your child to certain educational things at home? So this example and this activity will allow you to kind of teach your child, what an author is. Explain to your child as you're reading to them or having your child read what an illustrator is when they see the pictures in the book and the title, the purpose of the title of a book, or the table of contents or the chapters and index. Different things you might find in terms of how a book is organized. So we'll give you that example as an activity. You can teach your child this yourself and make sure your child knows this because this will be important for him or her to know as they go further on in school. And as you go forward, as you go through the book, we give you other examples of things that correspond to the skills that we talked about. So they may be, for instance, short vowel sounds and helping to make sure your child knows certain short vowel sounds. And I'll say, don't be afraid, don't be scared of having your child go back and learn things that maybe they should have learned in a previous grade to help them in this current grade, because that always is very good to reinforce, and repetition and practice is good. Doesn't matter, as long as they learn the concepts, that's what you want. So don't worry about that, whether it's from a different grade. But this example is from short vowel sounds, long vowel sounds, other things you may want to give your child in terms of examples they may want to know. There are other ways we'll let them practice, and we also give them other examples that you may want to have your child practice with the sounds that the letters make and adding certain endings to them to really help them really practice and get better at speaking and reading and recognizing certain things, and even making up your own endings. So there are things, there's content right there in the book that you can read through. And as I mentioned, these are short vowel sounds. We go through this for this particular grade, for the first grade, but we also get to long vowel sounds and what makes a long vowel sound and how do you want to pronounce that, and ways you can work through that with your child and different endings you can add onto it. So the book goes through that, and it goes through, as I mentioned, for each of the grades we'll have certain examples and activities that go with the skills that you may want to learn. But think through it as you walk through it, and we break them down into a number of different sections and a number of different principles that we look at. And for example, here are some sight words that you may want to make sure that your child knows in a given grade period. So when you think about that, take a look at it. 10 Things Your Child Should Know will go through reading, writing, and math skills for each of the grade, from pre-kindergarten to fifth grade. It'll go through those skills, and you'll be able to then ask yourself certain questions to help make sure your child is getting these skills and learning these skills, and then give you examples of activities you may want to do to reinforce that with your child at home. At the end of the book, there is a question and answer section that you can ask teachers that may help you when you sit down with a teacher and talk to them. You can actually take notes in the book. But this whole section is set up to help you as a parent take control of your kids' education. So check it out, 10 Things Your Child Should Know. I hope that you enjoy it.